One small step for flying squirrel, one giant leap for flying squirrel kind. That's not as catchy. And plus, this isn't even outer space, this is just the sky. But this is the Mississippi King, welcoming y'all back to more Let's Play Sonic Mania Encore mode. And in this episode, we're going to tackle Flying Battery Zone and Press Garden Zone. As you can see, there's a special ring right there. So that should be useful against the boss. In fact, I'm probably just gonna cheese all of the bosses with super forms, and I immediately lost it, so pray for being completely careless. I keep getting hit a lot. That doesn't bode well, but hopefully it shouldn't be too bad. I mean, like, you know, I have super transformations. In the last episode, we finished Chemical Plant Zone and finished Studiopolis. We also got the last of the 7 Chaos Emeralds, so that means we have super transformations. That is pretty cool if you ask me. And speaking of cool, I really like the color palette here in Flying Battery Zone Encore mode, because it really makes it look neat. It gives it a unique aesthetic. I'm always paying attention to stuff like that, and it looks really cool. It looks sort of disused because of all of the brown and the green and blue and whatnot. It just makes it look like it's not been in use much. I like how it looks. It is very nice, it's pleasant on the eyes. And about Mighty's drop ability, I should probably talk about this. I don't really like it that much. Basically, it causes a shockwave for enemies around it, so if you drop at the ground near an enemy, then it will destroy that enemy. I don't really care for it because, like, it's not something that keeps the pace going. Like, when you use it, you lose all momentum. It's like you come to a dead halt. And this is why I'm not a huge fan of playing as Mighty. Although, I do admit his ability to block projectiles when curled up and protect himself from spikes when curled up is very neat. I like that, and it totally destroys certain bosses, because some of them, like, rely almost exclusively on spiky things or projectiles that Mighty can block. In fact, you can probably, like, cheese these fights without even losing any rings or taking any hits. It's quite laughable, actually. And this is a very long level, by the way. That's one of the things that kind of bothers me about it. It can take a long time to finish, so we're in it for the long haul. And that's gonna be a bit irritating to, like, try and get through this. But other than that, I think it has very unique platforming challenges. I mean, I do kind of prefer the original version of this zone from Sonic 3 and Knuckles, but I still do enjoy this version as well. It's just, it's a little long, and some of the gimmicks introduced do kind of overstay their welcome, but it's still very fast-paced, still very fun, and I enjoy it quite a bit. Of course, I don't think it's as good as the original version of the zone, but oh well, it's still good. And I also really like the music to this zone. I am a huge fan of the music to the series. I mean, like, most games in the Sonic series, even the awful ones, most of them, have good music. And I love that about the series. It's reliably good in the musical department. Now, to be clear, I generally prefer the musical style of, like, the Sonic Adventure style games. Like, for instance, the first Sonic Adventure. Like, I think that's the best Sonic soundtrack in the series. And I just love it so much. I think that it has the best soundtrack in the series because it's got, like, everything. It has, like, jazz, rock, pop, techno, funk, just about everything. It's incredibly diverse in its sound, and I love that. And, okay, I did not mean to fall down there, but I guess we're showing off the bottom of Act 2. It's actually pretty interesting, and it uses some gimmicks from Wacky Workbench, the things that, like, shoot electrical currents in designated directions, and this time you can actually destroy them, which is so cathartic. I love being able to do that, because those things suck! And I never liked them, so it's good to be able to destroy them now, because I don't like them, and I can get my revenge on them in this game, whereas I couldn't do that in Sonic CD. As I was saying about musical styles, I do generally prefer, like, the music to Sonic Adventure and whatnot. I'm a huge fan of that game's soundtrack. I mean, people can say what they want about Sonic Adventure, but I do love its music. And I always have. I do prefer it to the classic series. However, I get why, like, T-Lopes went with, like, a Genesis-style soundtrack, because, you know, it would be a bit out of place to hear jazz and funk and rock and things like that here in a 2D Sonic game. So it's like, I get why he did that. I just still prefer the Sonic Adventure style of music. I find it to be just much better to my ears. However, plenty of the Genesis games had fantastic soundtracks as well. Like I said, I'm no fan of Sonic 3D Blast, but it had an amazing soundtrack. Easily one of the best in the series, in fact. But that's a subject for another day. The one exception I know of is, well, I mean, out of the ones I've played and that can think of off the top of my head, is Shadow the Hedgehog, because screw that game. It's hot garbage, I say. Besides the vocal scenes, which I'll admit some of them are pretty good, the actual in-stage music is forgettable and bland. Like, I only remember the music for, like, Westopolis, because I had to play through that stage 10 times. Yes, I'm still salty about that. Can you tell? And the other would be from Gun Fortress, and that's not because I think it's particularly good, but because I think it sounds weirdly like elevator music. I can't be alone in thinking that, can I? It just sounds so much like the music you'd expect to hear on a long elevator ride down to the first floor or something like that. And that's highly questionable, but it does make it memorable, maybe not for the right reasons, but it is one track that I do remember. And also, one thing that's interesting about Act 2, it has a purple sky. That is weird. I'm not sure what's up with the purple sky. It's, this must be on some other planet. It was blue earlier, and now it's purple. Was it blue? I'm pretty sure it was blue at the beginning of this video. I'm losing focus. You see, this is what happens when you don't focus on what you need to focus on. So I can't just recall that off the top of my head because I'm getting caught up in these weird tangents. And I want to keep like a good pace for these videos, so of course I'm actually going to be tackling all of Press Garden Zone in this video, the first time we're actually tackling 2 full zones in one video instead of just an act and a full zone. And I intend to hopefully keep that up, because I want to keep this down to 6 videos or so, no more than 7. And I'll likely be able to finish this in 6 videos at this rate, but I digress. And I really don't like the Spider-Mobile in Act 2. It is just annoying, because it's so weird to hit, and the hitbox is just kind of weird, and it's irritating having to knock it into spikes, and it can take a while too. It's not something that's terrible. I've played worse boss fights. It's not terrible, and certainly it's better than a lot of other games in the series, but it's still not great. It's still painful. One thing that does bother me about Encore mode, the rings are completely pointless. There's almost no point to collecting them. They're just fodder for your super transformations, or sure, you'd grab a few for protection, but why would you want to get anything more than that? Because there's nothing to it. And if you're tackling this game without getting all of the 7 Chaos Emeralds, then why would you want to pick up the rings anyway? There's just no point to it. And you know something else about Press Garden Zone? It has a purple sky too. Or at least purple trees, which, again, I don't know of any trees on Earth that are purple. I mean, it's possible. Maybe there are some purple trees, but I don't know of any. So this is definitely another planet. Encore mode takes place on a different planet from Mania mode. That is my speculation now, and I'm sticking to it, I say. But right here, we have some kind of finicky jumps because of, having to, get into, just the right spaces for the thing where I can, get up into the pipeline of, conveyor belts, and that's kind of annoying and problematic. I am not a fan of the jumps like that, but oh well. I do enjoy this changed color palette. It's very unique, it's quite strange, and it makes it look like we're on an alien planet because I don't know of any Earth trees that have purple leaves, that have purple wood for that matter. That is so weird. I don't know what's up with that. Why would, they design it so that it would have purple leaves? I still can't get over that. Although I do like platforming with the conveyor belts. It feels very fun and bouncy, and I like that. I love bouncy platforming. And I really like having a fire bubble shield in Press Garden Zone. Dang it! I freaking ended up dying because I got too careless. I just dashed into the thing so that, I end up getting crushed by it. I got hoisted by my own petard. And I also transformed accidentally. I was trying to switch my character in that part, but like, I just ended up hitting the button in midair because it's the same button to switch characters. That threw me off. That's more my problem. So like, I can just head into the bonus stage to untransform, fortunately. So I'll just take Sonic and peace, we're out. And I guess in Encore mode you just keep all of your rings when you die, if you get crushed or fall into a bottomless pit. I mean, I guess that explains part 2. And right here we'll just, like, get to the boss. The boss is really close, actually. I've been speeding through this because I want to, like, get this done as soon as possible. And I saw that special stage, like, I saw that special ring. You cannot hide that from me. I know it when I see it. Don't try and fool me, internet. And of course I'm just going to cheese the boss himself, because he's easy if you use super transformation. In fact, I don't even know why I bothered with that. Mighty can just... he's immune to the buzzsaw, so why even bother with that? It's pointless, it's what it is. And that's amazing. That is just glorious. Mighty just ended up freaking moonwalking. I mean, that's how you know it's the Mississippi King, folks. I end up glitching everything in sight. It's definitely not someone else, because someone else wouldn't be running into as many glitches as I do. That's a daily occurrence at this point. I'm not just glitching the games I play, I'm also glitching them daily. Pretty much multiple times, in fact. And in Act 2, now that we're here, I'm going to just put in my clip. I was frozen today for every time I get frozen, you know, just like I did in my playthrough of Mania mode, because that was ridiculous, and I intend to keep that. One thing that's really neat about Mighty's ability, his ability to slam the ground, is that he can actually crush the ice spikes, so he can actually destroy them that way. So that is pretty nice. I like having that ability. It's very useful if you ask me. But yes, I was frozen today! We're going to be hearing that a lot in this video. I don't even know how many times. I put it up on screen text, just like you did last time in Mania mode. Oh yeah, I know what you're thinking, future self. You're just going to use this as an excuse to put as much work onto me as possible. That, like, I'm not getting paid enough for this or something like that. And that you don't appreciate my work ever. And to that I say, I am you! I hate to break it to you, but I am you! So stop complaining, and I can't pay myself! You may be thinking the Senate will decide your fate, but I am the Senate! And also, why is Mighty's face there? That's weird, I have all characters, what is up with that? I think that's a glitch. So I break the game even further. It's just a daily occurrence at this point. I've become nonchalant about it at this point. Cause why even making a big deal of it? Cause it happens so often. You know, you don't make a big deal about the sun rising. Well, this has become as commonplace for me. Now that we're Sonic, I do actually enjoy playing as Sonic in this game, because that drop dash, man, that is awesome. It's great for like getting momentum after you lose it in a jump, so you can use it to like get a bunch of momentum easily. And right here we're facing off against Heavy Shinobi, and this time I'm cheesing him with the Supersonic, but surprisingly he can't even freeze a Supersonic, so watch out for that. But after we beat him, next up is a very cool place. It involves time travel, because we're going back to the future. Or to the past. I have no idea what time this takes place in. The Phantom Ruby screws everything up. And it also makes for cheap, lazy transitions. I'm still kinda salty about that. Actually, you know what? We're getting out of this place. We're getting out of this weird forest with purple trees and whatnot. Let's get out of here! And, well, that's it for this video! In the next episode, we'll tackle Stardust Speedway, Hydro City or Hydrocity, and even a bit of Mirage Saloon Zone. See y'all then.